Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about what's so special about Gen X. After doing this channel for a while, I've begun to realize something. And Gen X being something special has actually more to do with other generations than it does with us. I get quite a few comments from other generations, as you can imagine. Most of them are negative, to be honest, but we do get some positive comments from boomers and millennials both, especially those boomers or millennials that are born in the years closest to Gen X, because they just identify more with Gen X. And in my opinion, they're just Gen Xers. I'll be honest with you. I don't. Some egghead in an office put some dates down on a calendar. I don't give a shit. Gen X is a mindset. It's a feeling. It's a whatever you want to call it. If you identify with Gen X, then I consider you Gen X. I mean, those dates on the calendars are more guidelines. But having said that, we get a lot of negative comments from boomers and millennials, not so much Gen Z. And in those comments, I've actually begun to notice what they don't say, right? What is it that they don't say? And then I started paying attention more. And what is it that they don't say everywhere else either? What don't they say? They don't say that, boomers rule, boomers are awesome, the boomer generation. They don't say, millennials rock or anything like that. They don't say any of that shit. They have no pride in their generation. They have no cohesive thing that keeps them together as a group, no shared values and all this stuff that I'm sure they do, but they don't, what am I saying? They don't have pride in it. They don't consider themselves great or good or any of that because they are boomers or they are millennials. They're just boomers or millennials. You know what I mean? It's like being human or whatever. But Gen X, on the other hand, we are proud to be Gen X. Gen X rules. You know what I mean? It's awesome. We love the 80s, even the 70s when a lot of us were kids. We have a lot of movies we share and fantastic movies. And it's in our decades when we were kids and teenagers. There's so much iconic stuff, that brings us together, and we have shared nostalgia, and it was just awesome. And we all know it was awesome. You don't get the same thing, not on a broad range. You might see a boomer somewhere or something. I personally have not, but you might see a boomer somewhere or something, talking about a movie from back in the day or some music from back in the day, but they're not in love with it like we are, right? The same thing with millennials, and yeah, they're nostalgic to a certain point, but not as thoroughly as Gen X is. And they have absolutely no pride in their generation. I don't know how to explain it. It's like fish just swimming around in a fishbowl, They're there, yes. They are fish, yes, but there's nothing, no emotion there, no solid pride. I guess pride is the key word there. We're proud to be Gen X. Gen X rocks. Gen X rules, right? And we know it, and they know it. That's the point. They know it, and a lot of the negative comments I get are disparaging against Gen X. Okay, well, just in the comments on my video channel here, we've been accused of destroying Western civilization, destroying the United States. We've been accused of being trans and just video game addicts and drug addicts and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So my point is that if I was going to watch I don't know if they have them, but if I was going to watch a baby boomer channel, I wouldn't get on there and hack on them. You know what I mean? Number one, it would be boring as shit. I just wouldn't watch anything like that. But if I did, you know, and they were on there talking good about the baby boomers, I personally just wouldn't get on there and hack on them. I mean, some people might just for fun, and I don't blame you for it, but I just wouldn't, you know, if they're on there showing pride for their generation and, you know, listing all the cool stuff about their generation, I wouldn't throw salt in that shit. I'd let them have at it, you know. Same thing with millennials and stuff. I might do it to Gen Z, but you got to hack on them kids. But they don't do it either. Gen Z's another one. They're not full of pride for being Gen Z yet. I mean, give them time. They could be. I try not to hack on Gen Z too much because they've got some growing up to do. But boomers and millennials, they just have no pride. They don't have, you know, they don't have the same energy toward their generation that we do they? But the point in the whole comments thing is that they don't get on in the comments and list all the great stuff about the boomer generation or the millennials. Oh, the millennials did this or the boomers did that. No, they want to, you know, they just want to hack on Gen X. And most of the shit just isn't true. I mean, I'm sure we have trans people in Gen X, just like every other generation. We've got drug addicts and murderers and every other thing you can think of. And, you know, it's just stupid to say that we don't. Nobody would say that we don't have that kind of stuff in Gen X, right? But to say that all of us are, that's just dumb. I mean, that's not even putting any thought into your insult. I mean, how am I supposed to be insulted when, you know, by somebody saying that all of Gen X are trans? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just laugh at that shit. I mean, this, you know, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But that's their big way to insult us, is just to say some blanket shit like, I personally destroyed Western civilization by being Generation X. All right, dude, whatever. You know, that's the way you feel. Go ahead. Keep living in whatever dream world you're living in, and not accepting the truth that it was all of us. Every generation, the generations in our past, the generations who have died and gone away, it's been hundreds of years of this shit, and it's all led up to this. Not one single generation has really, I mean, some have been more impactful, don't get me wrong, but not one generation has really been totally responsible for the downfall. But honestly, what makes us special is that we love being Gen X. We're proud of being Gen X. We've got a lot of great music, a lot of great movies, just a lot of great stuff that goes with being Gen X, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Not only is there nothing wrong with that, I think it's freaking fantastic. But people in other generations don't think so. I don't know if you want to call it jealousy or whatever dumb shit that they can come up with, but they seem to despise the fact that I enjoy being Gen X and we're proud of it. You know, we'll shout it from the rooftops. You know, Gen X rules. So. And they don't have that. That's missing from their lives. That's something that they envy, right? And since they can't go out and buy that, you know, you can't order that from Amazon. That's something special that we have. The only Gen X has it. Look at the other generations. Do some searches. Try to find some channels like this one that, you know, just all about millennials or all about, you know, how awesome boomers are and shit. You won't find them. They don't exist because that camaraderie, that pride, that real deep nostalgia, none of those exist in these other generations. Gen X is special. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I really appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much, and I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff over there. But I'll leave that link down in the description for any of you who are interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out one hell of a lot, so thank you to those of you who do that. It really means a lot to me. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.